Meyer from the Associated Press. Thank you for doing this. You've mentioned Senate realities and political realities that prevent immediate action on things like cutting fossil fuel subsidies, and also, I assume, joining in any effort to end domestic use of coal, right? There's not any sign in the midterm that those are going to get any better for Democrats, and in the meantime, we're in the last few years of supposedly having enough time to act to cut emissions significantly to stop the worst of climate change. So how do you reconcile that, and when do you see that getting better so that the U.S. can take those bigger steps?
The package that we have going forward deals directly and immediately with being able to reduce carbon emissions. This is the most ambitious package that we've ever seen. Legislation we have coming out of Ways and Means making permanent our tax credits for energy conservation, what's happening with the electrification. There are all of these areas where we are investing unprecedented sums of money to be able to follow through on American commitments. We'll duke out certain things in the long run. The coal industry is dying in the United States, not because necessarily of regulations, which Donald Trump unwound, but because of economics. Renewable energy, which we are providing unprecedented incentives for, is more economical. That's the rational decision that business and communities are making. And so we're going to pursue long-term policy changes, but in the short term, what we are putting money behind, investments of our government, and what we've seen commitments from the private sector, those are uncontrovertible. And that's where we're headed, and it's going to have a tremendous impact.
It really, truly is a remarkable package. Here are just a few of the details, and I think Mr. Blumenauer is right. There were a number of different pathways here. So here are a few of the pathways that we chose in the Build Back Better Act. Out of Frank Pallone's committee, $29 billion in a greenhouse gas reduction fund for nonprofit state and local climate finance institutions that support the rapid deployment of low and zero emission technologies, with at least 40% of those investments going to low income and disadvantaged communities. A methane emissions reduction program that's focused on the oil and gas sector. More than $15 billion in multiple loan and grant initiatives at the Department of Energy. That will support those innovative technologies. Remember, under the Recovery Act in 2009, that package had $90 billion of clean energy investments, and that really got us going. But compare that to the over $500 billion in the Build Back Better, and put together with the Infrastructure and Jobs Act, another $500 billion investment in transit and rail, and again, targeting resources to communities on the front lines that have suffered a disproportionate burden of pollution. This is just a different pathway, along with the tax credits that are revolutionary. Combine that with the economics. This is our answer. This is an inspirational, transformational package, and even in the face of close numbers in the U.S. Congress, we intend to deliver, and we know that we have to answer our moral call to action, and that's why we feel being here at the COP in constructive partnership. We're hearing from other countries that they are so enthused that America is back and working with them in a constructive way. With action, as Mr. Huffman said. Yeah. Real action.
If I could just add on to that, I hope one thing you're taking away here is that when you bring up these political constraints, and believe me, many of us wish we could be part of the end of coal and that pledge. We wish we could have a carbon tax. We wish we could do all kinds of things, but instead of just throwing up our hands because of these political roadblocks and not taking action, we are finding ways to navigate those problems and still take action. We're tackling every one of the major elements of this climate crisis in a bigger and bolder way than we ever have.
But we have never been absent. A certain branch of government was absent for 4 years, but we were there in Madrid, and we're here today, and our leadership in methane has been impressive, and our fiscal commitment in the recent Build Back Better initiative proves that, you know, we're here for the long haul.
Because of the constraints of the room, we only have time for one more question.